video's purpose is responding to a viewer request to see what if I wrap the Diablo in the opposite direction. What would my tension scale read? So I will go ahead and demonstrate that, even though I already responded to him by saying that, you know, in my previous video I've demonstrated going from the Racquet's direction under the Diablo and then up in an angle going into the gripper plates. I've demonstrated that you get almost 1.8 to 2 pounds of extra tension as read by my string meter at the time. So you can refer to that video somewhere, and I'll put it in my descriptions. So I already told him that my assumption is that by wrapping around like this, you'll get the same result because the nearest angle that it comes from is still below the Diablo. And to see if my assumption is true or not. So I'm gonna set it up just so that this ring wouldn't slide up and down like this. I always try to remove. I'll move this thing too. This plastic cover. And make sure to move it up against this high knob here as far as it would go. Okay, so I'll demonstrate. Lock my turntable as usual. Right there is the closest to being parallel to my puller, so there's no extra, difference in angle to consider. So I'll do it 4 different ways then, considering the way I do it with polys versus what has filaments. So let's see, let me set my reference tension to 50 pounds, turn on my meter, make sure there's no tension. As you can see, I got my poly inserted in the gripper already, and I tear the scale, tear it again, and I will pull. 50 reference tension there, 48, 49, 40, 50, 0.3, 50.2. Let's call it 50.1. Because by then I would have clamped it off already. So we got 50.1. Let me do each measurement 3 times, this way it's more scientific. $50.1, 0.4, 50.4, it stabilizes that. For 50.4, 50.4, 2.4. It's between 50.2 and 50.4. But let's do it one more time to get one more data point for the average. .4, 50, 50.4, 50.4. It stabilizes at 50.4. Alright, let's proceed. The normal way for the soft strings, which is by wrapping around the Diablo, utilizing the Diablo fully like this. I'm not gonna add another variable with using a different type of string, like an actual soft string. I'll just keep the string the same, so it's one less variable. Tear it. I'll tear it again, just to make sure that I start from 0 before I pull it. 48, 50, 49, 50.2, 50.4, 50.4. Let's call it 50.4, 50.7. Oh, the longer you wait it, the higher it goes. 50.7 then. Time I run a Diablo in the, I would say, clockwise direction. .2, 0.7, 0.4, 0.7, 0.4, 0.7. Stabilizes at 50.7. So let me repeat that. So this string will be free. It's at 0, pull. 50.3, 0.7, 50.7. Now keep in mind that I don't have the lockout mode turned on to this meter, so it's able to freely float based on the actual live measurements. So that was pretty consistent, 50.7. So the average out of those three is 50.7. So in the interest of eliminating the outliers, let me just eliminate this ones. Alright, let's proceed with the third method, which is what I already demonstrated in my previous video, which I'll do it again here, is by going below the diabolo, like one of the viewers asked, and then he followed up with another question. Well, what if you, instead of just running below it, what if you wrap it in the opposite direction? So I will do a fourth time in the opposite direction of the normal direction. All right, so let's do this one first, below the diabolo. Like that. Tear my meter. Pull. 50.51, oh, 52.3, 52.1, 52.1. I'll take that. That makes sense, because in the previous video I was comparing this method versus my normal way of not wrapping around the poly, which is method number 1 of just running above the poly, and I demonstrated that in that angle, this part of the string does not make contact with the diabolo, and oftentimes it goes in an angle like this, with this part of the string, free hanging. So the downside of this method is that you run into a situation where the string angle is in a slant, so it's likely to enter the gripper in a slanted angle, and there's a possibility that the gripper doesn't grip this entire portion of the string like parallel like this, and instead many times I may run into a situation where it only grips the latter part of it, which was pointed out by a nationally or internationally certified stringer to me, that when it only grips the back end of it, bad things happen. It could slip out. It could pull less tension, simply the fact that with that angle introduced, you know what I mean. So it could grab it like this, with the first half of the portion of the string exposed. As you can see, it slipped out like that. Didn't get a firm grab. So yeah, that stringer was correct, was very correct in saying that. So since then I've made changes to to when I use this method, instead of just placing the string in and pull, I will actually use my finger to like actually press this part of the string down. So you see, so this front part of the string will actually sit lower, therefore prevent that slippage problem or under tension problem. So I've done it once with the below method. Let me repeat it 2 more times. Pulling at 50 pounds, tear it. Oh, why is my turntable moving? Let me lock it up tighter. Now it's not moving. Lock is off. Pound scale is turned on. Tear it. Tear it. Tear it. Pull. 50.5, 52, 51.9, 52, 51.9, 52.1. 52.1. Let's do it again. Below the Diablo. .1 again. So all 3 times at 52.1. That's pretty consistent. So they're about 1.7 pounds above method number 1. Average number is 52.1 here as well. Okay, let's reverse wrap. Let's reverse wrap the Diablo. Can I think of any other way to use the Diablo? Instead of wrapping like that, go under and wrap. Under first and wrap it counterclockwise, okay? Tear it so there's no tension being read, and pull. 52, 52.3, 52.35. 52.3. Wow, that is already higher than wrapping it the normal way. 52.35. So I'll call it 52.4. Let's round it up. So it's a little higher than simply going under and not wrapping it. And wrap in the opposite direction. Okay, tear, pull. 52, 51, 52.4, 52.1, 52.3, settling at 52.35. Same value as before. One more time. Keep the wrappings the same. There's no tension on it. Pull. 51.8, 52.35, 52.35. The average is 52.4. Okay, so it is. So this is a +3 from going under and not wrapping it, and it's 2 points, 2 points higher than here. 1.7 higher than here. So highest tension is sheaves so far is this method. by 2 pounds. What do you think of that? Alright, perhaps the final way that I'm gonna demonstrate, which is by putting the meter like this from this end. And how I won't recommend that. Let me just wrap a piece of tape on this end so this won't slide down. At least I tried. Okay, and then I'll unlock the turntable so the pull can come from exactly parallel. Alright, here we go. Zero to zero, 0 to 0, and pull. .4, 50.7, 50.7. Second time. .51, 57, 51. Let's do it third time. Tear it. Slipped. .7 and 51. .4. We got a good spread there. So I would say the average is 51. 51. So in the last video I said that I would calibrate my machine using my normal way by just going above it, not wrapping it, and I will mount it in the furthest position on this post. So the string actually goes from this end of the gripper about 23 inches up. Let me measure it. 23 inches up. Yeah. So I'm seeing that it's about 24 here. It's close enough. Because actually the electronic part where it's reading the actual tension is over here. Not here. So just make sure that you use a further distance as opposed to the last way that I demonstrated over here. The difference between maximum distance versus the shortest distance is plus 0.6 pounds. Verifying your tension, you're not making any changes to the calibration, it doesn't matter. But with this data, my final conclusion is that when you're calibrating your machine, you always want to use the furthest distance, which is this one, when your meter reads a lower reading compared to the shortest distance. and we see that the difference is 0.6 pound here. Well, let me put it this way, maybe it's easier to understand. As you're doing the calibration inside of your machine, it actually thinks that it's currently pulling 50 pounds, right? And you're reading 54 pounds, and you enter, 50.4 pounds, and you enter this 50.4 pounds. Next time it's gonna, and you enter the calibration value, next time your machine is gonna drop all the pulling tensions down by 0.4 pounds. It used to pull 50.4, so now it pulls 0.4 pounds less, so you get 50 pounds. Whereas if you calibrate it using this method, where it reads higher, all right, it already read 51 pounds versus your reference of 50. Next time your machine's gonna make every pull 1 pound lower. Would you rather that it pull 0.4 pounds lower or 1 pound lower? The answer is that this way it's going to give you higher resulting tension by 0.6 pounds. Alright. Whereas if you calibrate it using this way, it makes all the pulls 1 pound less from now on. Your resulting tensions versus this way is going to be low by 0.6 pounds. Alright, I hope you're not confused by all these readings, but this is just the starting point for some discussion. That's why I don't advocate calibrating your tension head this way. And if you normally string it this way, using one of these 3 methods, then just be consistent and calibrate your machine. But I will continue to use my normal way, number 1. Thank you very much for watching. On to make my next video. Stay tuned. I'll go ahead and demonstrate another viewer's request. He wanted me to show all the different knots that I use, and stay tuned for that video. Take care.